My name is Robert Christopher Wayne Weathers. I live at 3102 Center Hill Road, Acre, Mississippi, 38841. I'm still under attack by Scientology. So what I'm experiencing at the moment is there's an inverse worm. Uh, I don't know where it's coming from, but it's right here at the moment. They keep coming around and hit me in the frontal lobe. They also have my inverse. So they have a part of my biology that is still entangled to my third dimension. They have it at a remote location. They have the top of my head cut off. They keep sticking stuff down inside of me and moving it around. They're cutting my brain tissue. They drove it down the inside of my neck, uh, into my back. They're cutting back nerves in my back. So I'm very sick. Yes, they could pull out all of the worms and all of the foreign objects, most of which are inverse. Yes, I'm in pain, bad. They keep talking about creating a look-alike, an identity thief, to steal my intellectual property. She says, well, if she can't turn me into a surrogate, that's what they're going to do. That's what they have plans to do. Yes, I'm very sick. So my biology is in many different pieces. Different people have possession of different parts of it. There's an entanglement property between my third dimension and my extra dimensions. So you can take a piece of extra dimensional biology or some part of it that has this entanglement property, take it to a remote location, and you can actually stick stuff inside of it and it will show up down here because of this warp in space-time. Yes, these people are torture specialists. This is Scientology. They are terrorists. They torture people. They're biological thieves. The government part of Scientology is known as Deep State, and the military. The civilian side is known as Scientology, or the Free Zone. They keep trying to pass a false narrative which says that I've done something wrong to somehow justify their criminal behavior towards me. I am very sick. So I'm experiencing nerve damage. Scientology removes body parts from people. So the Scientology process, there are more than three dimensions. Plus there are extra particles that we can't see that are also attached to our biology. We have biology in these extra dimensions. So we have extra dimensional biology. We utilize this biology to have an afterlife. Scientology is the practice of removing this extra dimensional biology from themselves and turning it into an upper dimensional vehicle, similar to a dead person but incomplete. You can think of a third dimensional human as a shell. We are just a shell for something else. Within the particles in which we consist of lie other dimensions. So it is inside of us, inside of the particles in which we consist of. So the human genome produces an 11-dimensional humanoid with horns on our head. We are designed to fly through outer space, move particles around, and we are designed to interact with life and to help it grow and develop and evolve. Because we are also designed to consume the elements in the nether or something. So Scientology removes part of this Anunnaki from themselves, part of their dead person, while they are still among the living. And they turn it into alien forms or lizard people. So there are a few forms they can choose from, or a few forms they modify themselves into. Well, first off, these biologies can't function properly in this state. They have to leave organs and tissues behind so the origin biology can survive, so they can remain among the living. So these biologies are incomplete. They had to take organs and tissues from other humans and other species to modify themselves, to use as transplants, to make themselves whole and function properly again. So they take organs and tissues from other humans and other species such as lizards, insects, and worms. They make a few types of alien forms, the blues, the bloods, and the greens. They make lizard people, a few types of lizard people, using lizard body parts, or they genetically modify uh, an extra dimensional human biology to have uh, lizard like features, which is also known as a lizard person. They also use bug body parts to create insectoids or bug people. Then they use worm body parts to make worm people. And these are the aliens, which humans have been observing over the last 60 years. This is Scientology. I am very sick. Yes, they damaged my frontal lobe last night. The day before that, they removed my meninges. So after they got done with my meninges, they started messing with my screen. First, they started torturing me with it. They started cutting down into my brain with it, then cutting around. And then they removed it. And it still had brain tissue attached to it, which is entangled to me. Then they started shoving stuff inside of my frontal lobe. Say which is still there. Yes, I'm very sick. And then they put a hole. So I've got a hole on the back side of my frontal lobe in front of my thalamus. Then they gave me damage in my temporal lobes. Then last night they started driving a worm around and hitting me in the temporal lobe. Then today they also assaulted my lung tissue. And I believe that was third dimensional damage. Then today they are sticking stuff down inside of the top of my head. And then they come down here and move it. They're moving it around. They damaged my brain stem. Then they moved it down my neck, underneath my muscles, around my neck. Now they're damaging muscles underneath, or damaging nerves underneath my back muscles, which pertain to my heart, lungs, and digestion. I'm very sick. Yes, they torture people. So Scientology is a criminal enterprise. They utilize their extra dimensional presence to control the population. So, first off, the practice of Scientology requires stolen body parts. They have to steal body parts from other humans and other species to complete the Scientology process. So, first off, they're biological thieves or soul thieves. Second, they make surrogates. So, they steal biologies from other humans and other species in an attempt to drive these organisms. Uh, they exploit people. So, anybody with any kind of influence, power, or authority, or job positions in which they desire to control, get forced to assimilate. They force these people into a hive mind, or they force them to practice Scientology so they can control these people's behavior, both for personal and monetary gain. Then, over the last couple decades, social media and marketing companies have been stealing people's eye nerves and brain tissue. Because of this entanglement property, they can utilize this stolen biology to invade our privacy. They can literally see through our eyes, or they will install some kind of digital implant that allows them to see through our eyes to record our sensory perception input. They house this biology in compounds on Earth, and they interface this biology to a computer system. And they use the information they gain to sell people things, to control the ads you see on the internet, social media, and even the commercials you see on television. They do this to try to increase consumerism, to try to get you to buy more things, to increase profit. And many businesses are buying into this marketing scheme using stolen body parts. The government, specifically the FBI, is also getting carried away with this technology for surveillance purposes. So is the CDC. However, they are not just surveilling criminals, they are doing it to the general public. Plus, these agencies also have a vested interest in Scientology, these Scientology companies. So they're helping these Scientology companies steal body parts. They also make surrogates, create surrogates or afflict people to commit acts of terrorism or to commit crimes. So they invade our privacy. They invade our homes and our businesses on their upper dimension. They even use their upper dimensions as lookouts so they can break and enter with their third dimension. This is a type of surveillance. So they can modify our environments or take things or put things into our environment. They harass people. So if you are someone they don't like, or if you are at odds with the Scientology community, or if you have something they want, they will harass you, sabotage you. They will attack your extra dimensions. They may even poison you with parasites or viruses or microbes, because this surrogate technology allows them to drive these bad organisms through your biology. They can drive a parasite through your biology and utilize it as a weapon. They like to cause vehicle accidents or accidents. They may take biology in an attempt to control people. or use it to extort people. So they use biological weapons. They can drive bad organisms as surrogates in any dimension, such as parasitic worms, other parasites, microbes, and even viruses. They also drive animals and humans. So if you are somebody that uh, they want to get close to, they may afflict uh, the closest people in your life, such as your family, or your friends, your coworkers, your neighbors, or someone in your community, or anyone affiliated with you in any way. They may turn these people into surrogates or force them to assimilate, so they can control their decisions or modify your environment in some way. They kidnap people and force them to assimilate. So if they are attracted to you in any way, a lot of these people have sexual attractiveness or uh, towards people, or maybe they're just attracted to your psychology, which is my case. They may force you to assimilate, or they may kidnap you, which usually winds up bad. They traffic humans, both for sexual purposes and for donor organs. They torture, rape, and murder people, which is usually a female uh, victim. It usually starts as sexual activity, turns into torture, yes, rape, that turns into murder. They like to destroy our environments. So, first off, this entanglement property that pertains to our biology also extends to the environments in which we live in. So, our homes, the land that we live on, our cars, our clothing, our food and water all have extra dimensions that are entangled to the third dimension. So, they can literally remove the extra dimensions from your environment, take it to a remote location, and reach through these extra dimensions straight into your environment and manipulate your environment or on some level from a remote location. Yes, assault your biology, add contaminants, uh, destroy food and water supplies. So that's another thing they do is destroy food and water supply. Yes, that could be used as surveillance. They also destroy food and water supplies. So they have devices they can apply to your food or water that separate the extra dimensional particles. Uh, they also have devices that add contaminants to our food and water. So they can give you extra dimensional parasites or contaminants or toxins or poisons in this manner. Yes, they also have weapons. So there are objects in the extra dimensions just the same as there are in the third dimension. So they harass people, they victim shame people, they gaslight, they try to set some people up. They take many victims. Uh, so this technology that they use, first they use the entanglement property of our biology as part of their hive mind technology. So there are compounds on Earth that house body parts. Most of them either use their inverse, which is a part of their biology, or they remove brain tissue, such as the brainstem, their thalamus, or their eyes. And they house this biology in a compound and install it into a computer system. So they have little pods or boxes that house this removed biology, and they install it into a computer system. They interface this biology to a computer system, which allows the users to interact with each other in a digital landscape, to communicate with each other. And this computer system also acts as a command center so they can control the rest of their upper dimensional biology. They also have wireless technology. Oh, I'm being assaulted. So they have devices that interface with your brain and central nervous system on the origin biology or their extra dimensions. Most of these devices are recording devices. They record sensory perception input. They call these PreserVision devices. But this technology also artificially stimulates brain and central nervous system tissue. So they can isolate individual memories or thought patterns and stimulate this area of the brain so they can make you experience a memory or a thought pattern. And they can also control your emotions. So they can stimulate the emotional center of your brain. They can make you experience joy or sadness, happiness, or they can make you cry. And they can also stimulate sexual organs. And they have sexual relations with each other using these devices. And then lastly, this technology artificially stimulates brain and central nervous system tissue, which elevates hormone levels and neurochemistry. So they stimulate the endocrine system, which elevates testosterone, estrogen, and growth hormone. And it also elevates neurochemicals like dopamine, norepinephrine, and serotonin, and even oxytocin and other neurochemicals. This technology has an extremely narcotic-like effect upon the user.